Hello everyone, I am Vaishnavi and welcome to today's live refresher of SSC CGL Tier 1 exam. Alright, so we will start with the word of the day and then move on to the questions that we are supposed to discuss. By the way, these questions are of the mock test that we take every week. Okay, so we'll start with the word of the day. The word for the day is ambidextrous, and I don't know how many of you know the word, but it is a very interesting word. It has come from the compilation of two words, ambi and dextrous. Actually, three words: ambi prefix, dexter the base word, and ous the suffix. Okay, so what is the meaning of the root word ambi? Ambi means nothing but both. Okay, so when we talk about two things, both, we have ambi or amphi, both are for both. Okay, so we have amphibian, amphitheater. For ambi we have ambidextrous, ambiguous. And what is the meaning of the word dexter? So in olden Latin days, what used to happen is people who were right-handed were called dexters, and people who were left-handed were called sinisters. So it was a superstition that left-handed people were actually bad and evil. You understand the meaning of the word sinister, right? Yes, so left-handed people were considered bad or evil. On the other hand, right-handed people were considered skillful. So dexter means nothing but skillful. Okay, so how did the word ambidextrous come into picture is when a person was skillful with both the hands, skillful in using both the hands really well, they were called ambidextrous. So both the hands become dexter, that's why ambidextrous. And ous, like I have said in my previous sessions as well, ous is a suffix which means full of something. Okay, it is an adjective suffix which means full of something. Okay, so here we have the first word for the day, ambidextrous. Remember that. Cricketers are usually called ambidextrous. Cricketers who can play with both the hands really well, who can bat with both the hands. Okay, so without further delay, let's start today's session. Today the session is open for all of you. I welcome all of you. Okay, so let's start. Alright, so the first type of questions that we have is, in the following questions, some parts of the sentences have errors and some are correct. So this is error spotting type of question where you have been given a sentence which is divided into different segments, and the segments have been named option A, B, C and D. D being no error. Okay, so if you find no error in the sentence, you have to mark the option D. Alright, so let's start with the first one. Everybody but Ram has paid their dues. Okay, now let's look at each segment one by one. Everybody, words like everybody, somebody, nobody, someone, no one, everyone. All these words are considered singular. So the pronoun that we will use with these words should be singular. Alright, so everybody but Ram, that means everyone else except Ram. But Ram means except Ram. So it is completely fine. Section A is fine. Has paid. Okay, since it is singular, so we will use has paid. Okay, their dues. Now, if you remember the pronoun there is usually used for plural nouns, to replace plural noun, okay? But here, like I said, like I mentioned, everybody is singular. So the error is in option number C. It has to be everybody has to pay his due. Okay, it should be replaced there, has to be replaced with his. So the error is in option C. And yes, option C is the error. All right. All right. I think the first question was very simple, pretty simple. Someone asked me, are you checking our responses? Of course I am. I am checking your responses, and I will be looking at questions that you have doubts. If you have any doubts, I will clarify those doubts. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question, shall we? Okay. Death of, again error spotting sort of question, death of his only son made Mohan desolate. Okay. Now, I really want to emphasize on this word desolate. Okay. It is pronounced as, now this word has two uses. It has, okay, so first it is used as an adjective, also used as a verb. When it is used as a verb, it is pronounced as desolate. When it is used as adjective, it is pronounced as desolate. Okay? And desolate is, the meaning of the adjective desolate is uninhabited and giving an impression of bleak emptiness. All right, so it means that it is something that is a place which is completely inhabited and gives the impression of bleak emptiness, as means absolute emptiness. Okay, so if you want, I can also, this is one of the meaning. There are other meanings as well. Before that, what are the synonyms of desolate? We have synonyms of desolate can be bleak, empty, words like this, okay, barren. All these are synonyms of desolate. Okay, now let's look at the next meaning of desolate. The second meaning of desolate is miserable. Sad, unhappy, and things like that. Feeling or showing great unhappiness or loneliness. Okay, so an example sentence on this can be, I suddenly felt desolate inside the hospital room. So that means I felt very lonely and alone and miserable inside that hospital room. All right. Now let's look at the verb form of desolate, which is, the meaning of this is to, again, desolate word has to do with emptiness. So the meaning would be make or appear a place bleak, empty. Bleak or empty. Make a place appear bleak or empty. Okay, and the synonyms can be devastate, ruin, and all these words are the synonyms of the verb desolate. Okay, there's another meaning of the verb it means make someone feel utterly wretched and unhappy. Okay, so synonyms can be distress, sadden. Okay, so the example sentence can be, he felt extremely desolated after the death of his treasured friend. Okay, that can be an example sentence of the word desolate. So we have looked at all the words that are to do with, all the meanings that have to do with desolate, and the use over here of the word desolate is as an adjective. Okay, so let's look at the sentence once again. Death of his only son made Mohan desolate. I think the use is completely fine. It is describing the situation of Mohan and there is no error in the statement. So the answer will be no error. Alright? Okay. Now these were the two types of question that we are looking at on error spotting. Let's move on to the next type of questions where we will be dealing with synonyms, antonyms, and further on. Alright, so if you have no error, I'm so sorry, if you have no problem till here, as in you have no error in the question, no doubts in the question, please let's move on to the next set of questions. Alright? Alright, let's move on. Okay, so the next type of question that we have, the direction is as follows. Pick out the most effective word from the given words to fill in the blanks to make the sentence meaningfully complete. Okay, so leadership defines what the future should look like and dash people with that vision. Okay, so leadership defines what the future should look like. Okay, so it is talking about the word leadership. What is the purpose of leadership? The purpose of leadership is to define what future should look like, and what does it do to the people with this vision? Does it encourages people with this vision? No, leadership is an innate nature, so it does not encourage people with this. Does it train people with this vision? No, of course not. It does not train people with this vision. Does it develops people with this vision? No, it does not. What does it do with this vision? It aligns people. And what is the meaning of align? Let's look at the meaning of align. Align is, which part of speech is align? Align is verb, and the meaning is place or arrange. Usually things in a straight line. Alright, so leadership defines what the future should look like, and it aligns people and it brings people and aligns people with that vision. Alright? Yes. So the word that has to be filled in over here has to be aligned. Let's look at, if it is clear, let's move on to the next question. Is it helpful for CAT as well? Yes, it is. Words are always helpful for all these entrance exams, okay? So it is not just for SSC CGL, or it is not just for banking. Any word that you see, most of the words are important words that we are discussing, okay? So even if you are appearing for CAT, definitely useful. Where should we use relevant to or relevant for? Okay, we will discuss all these side by side. Okay, Let's move on to the next question. Alright, the question is, all the people involved in the issue feel a great dash of his suggestion. Okay. Now, all the people involved in this, we should first really try to understand what is the sentence trying to speak, and then try to find the right meaning for the right word for it. Okay. So all the people involved in the issue, so people who are involved in a certain issue feel a great, so we are talking about a set of emotions that these people feel dash to his suggestions. So they feel either a positive emotion or a negative emotion. All right. So let's look at the word contradiction. What is the meaning of the first? Let's look at which part of speech is contradiction. Contradiction is nothing but noun. Okay. What is the meaning of contradiction? It is a combination of statements ideas or features which are opposed to one another. Okay. So the meaning of the word contradiction, a lot of people think that they understand the word contradiction, very simple words, but the meaning of such words are often confusing. Okay, so you have to be very clear and well versed with the meaning of each and every word, and that's why my focus is majorly on words. Okay, so contradiction is a set of two ideas which are usually opposed to one another. So for example, it can be true or false, plus and minus, positive and negative. They are contradictory ideas, and that's why I use the word contradiction. All right. The next word is adherence. Okay, it is pronounced as adherence, and it is a noun, and the meaning of the word adherence is attachment or commitment to a person, cause, or belief. All right. Okay, so let's look at an example sentence on adherence. So an example sentence on adherence can be, he insists on adherence to rules no matter how silly or huge it is. Okay, so he insists on adherence to every rule. That means he is very particular about sticking to each and every rule. All right. And it is the attachment with the rules that he has, or it is the commitment with rules that he has. All right. Let's look at the next word. The next word is pretty simple, indifference. Indifference is also a noun, and the meaning of the word indifference is lack of interest, concern, or sympathy. For example, it can be he is indifferent towards his spouse. That means he shows lack of interest and he has no emotions for them whatsoever. All right, and the last word, let's look at the last word. The last word is repugnance. And the meaning, as we have already discussed, if you remember in one of the classes, we have discussed the word repugnance, and here we have the word again. It means intense disgust. the synonyms can be revulsion, disgust, etc. Alright, so it is a negative, I'm so sorry, it is a negative word, and these are the synonyms of the word. Okay, so anyone who can give me an example of the word repugnance, that would be great. Start making framing sentences. I can read your comments. If you guys are good and well versed with the word, try making sentence and use it as a noun, or you can use it as a verb. Depending on the usage, you have to change the word a little. Okay, tweak the word a little. All right. So what do you think is the right option? Is it contradiction? Is it adherence? Is it indifference? Or is it repugnance? Let's find out. All right. All the people involved in the issue feel a great deal of adherence because they feel a sense of attachment or to the person, to his suggestion, a great deal of, or feel a great adherence to his suggestion. All right. So the answer will be adherence, not repugnance. It is extreme disgust. People who are involved in the issue. That means we are talking about people having something in common. So it has to be option number 2 and not option number 4. All right. Okay. Extremely untasteful. Okay, yes, that is right, but try making sentences out of this, guys. Try probably making sentences on it, not just jotting down the meaning of it. Okay, that won't help because I'm giving you the meaning. Hitler showed extreme repugnance at Jews, towards Jews, not at Jews. Okay, very nice sentence. Hitler showed extreme repugnance towards Jews. Very nice. All right, so I hope you guys have understood all the words. Let's move on to the next word. Now the next set of questions that we have is as follows. All the respondents should express their dash views in this questionnaire. All right, so what does it say? It says all the respondents. Now, again, how many of you are clear with the word respondents? I'm sure all of you are clear with the word respondents, but just to clarify, respondents itself has 2 meanings. Meaning number 1, and respondent is a noun. Okay. If you guys again remember, just to link words from one platform to the other, we discussed a word called plaintiff, and plaintiff, the meaning of plaintiff was someone who files a petition. Okay, someone who, yes, and the person respondent was the antonym of plaintiff, the party against whom the petition has been filed, or against the person who replies to the a case filed against him is the respondent. Okay, so that is the first meaning of the word respondent. We see the words occurring again and again. So respondent is a party against whom petition is filed. Especially in an appeal. Okay, and the other meaning of respondent is what we are discussing over here. The meaning is a person who replies to something, can be replying to anything, right? So a person who replies to something, especially one supplying information for a questionnaire. That's why I wanted you to know the meaning of this word, because respondents are usually used with views of questionnaire. Okay, so all the respondents should express their dash views in this questionnaire. So a person who replies, they are supposed to reply in what way? Are they supposed to reply in a favorable way? Favorable is, what is the meaning of favorable? It means expressing approval. Okay, it is an adjective, by the way. Okay. Or to advantage of someone. So example sentence on favorable can be, the weather was favorable for a good picnic outside. Okay, so favorable means, like I said, to advantage of someone. Okay, or it can be also be approval or expressing approval, like the court decided or the jury decided in favor of the victim. All right. So let's look at the next word, candid. What is the meaning of candid? We have seen this word occurring a lot more often these days. We see candid pictures. What is the meaning of candid pictures? We often see this word, people hashtag candid. The meaning of candid pictures is where you do not pose for the picture, and it is an honest sort of expression. Okay, it has been taken without people posing for the camera. All right, so what is the meaning of candid? Candid means nothing but truthful. All right, truthful and straightforward. The synonyms can be, there are a lot of synonyms. Synonyms can be frank, synonyms can be outspoken, synonyms can be blunt, honest. All these are synonyms of candid. So candid is an adjective. Okay, the next word, confident. What is the meaning of confident? Feeling or showing certainty is the meaning of confident. Okay, and which part of this is also an adjective? Okay, so feeling or showing certainty is confident. So I can use it in a sentence like, I was very confident that my students will do well in their exams. Okay, so it means I'm expressing my certainty towards my students. All right, last word, let's see the last word, convenient. Convenient is also an adjective, and the meaning of convenient is fitting in well. Okay, that is the meaning of convenient. And what is the meaning of questionnaire, by the way? Questionnaire is set of questions. Okay, set of questions usually printed is questionnaire. Okay, so we know the meaning of all the words. Now what do you think would fit in the answer well? All the respondents should express their dash views in this questionnaire. So the answer, according to me, should be, they want their viewers, or they want their respondents to put their honest views. All right, so it should be candid, and the right answer would be option number 3, candid. Got it? Okay. So this was all from fill in the blanks type of questions with the meaningful words. Let's move on to the next type of questions which we will be discussing now. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next question since I do not see people raising any issues here. All right. So the next type of question is, in the following questions, a part of the sentence is underlined. Below are given alternatives to the underlined part of 1, 2, 2 and 3, which may improve the sentence. Choose the correct alternative. In case no improvement is needed, your answer is 4. Okay, so you have been given a sentence. You are supposed to tell if there is an error in the sentence or if there is an improvement required and what should be the improvement. And if there is no improvement required, your answer should be option number 4, no improvement. All right. So let's look at the question. Can this machine be adopted in construction work? Okay. Now, what is the meaning of the word adopted? Adopted is for the purpose of. So can this machine be taken for the purpose of? It is a verb. All right. So legally, it means legally take and bring it up as one's own is when we set when we have something for adoption, when we have someone for adoption. And the second meaning is to choose to take up or follow. So the second meaning is more relevant in this situation. Choose to take up or follow is the meaning. Okay. So can this machine be chosen to take up, or can it be taken in construction work? Okay. Now we use, what are the prepositions that we use with adoption? So adopt in construction work is not the right preposition that should be used. We either use machines can be adopted for construction work, for the purpose of construction work. All right, for the purpose of construction work. So yes, there is an improvement required, and the improvement is in option number 3. All right. So yes, 4 is the right. Add and opted. Very true. All right. So the right answer is good, guys. You guys are getting all of it. That's marvelous. Splendid. All right. So I think no one has any doubts in this one. So let's move on to the next question. All right. So the next question that we have is, the less I see him, the much I like him. All right. Now, the less I see him, the much I like him. As soon as you read it, you understand that there's something wrong with the sentence. And what is wrong with the sentence is, the less I see him, will it be the greater I like him, the more I like him, the further I like him, or there is no improvement required? I think much is not the right word for this sentence. Now, when do we use much? Much. And when do we use more? Much is used with uncountable noun like salt, sugar, etc. And it is also used in instances where countable and uncountable are in form of a question, negative, sentences, not positive or affirmative. All right. So, for example, I can say I have to get lots of food for tomorrow's party. Now, I cannot use I have to get much food for tomorrow's party. However, when I have to use it into interrogation, or if I have to use it in negative sentence, I can use the same sentence with much. How much of food do you need for tomorrow's party is the interrogation, and not much is the negative part. Okay, that is the use of much. Now let's see the use of many or more. I'm so sorry, the use of more. More, on the other hand, is mainly used for comparison. All right. Okay, we usually use both the words to talk about quantity. Okay, quantity or quantity of something. All right. So let's look at the word over here. The less I see him, the more I like him. Okay, it is a positive sentence, so we will use more instead of much. All right. So the right answer here will be option number 2, the more I like him. All right. Okay. So I see you guys are already answering all the questions. If you have answered the question wrong, please go through it again and see where you have made the mistake. And let's go on to the next question now. Okay. Okay, why further is not used, someone asks, because further means in addition to. In addition to what? In addition to what already exists. Or already something that has already been taken place, something that has already taken place or been done or been accounted for. All right. So yes, that's why we can't use further. So we can say we cannot use further, that's why, because it is in addition to something. For example, cook the food for further 10 minutes. Okay, so that means already whatever has been done, you are supposed to do a little more than that. In addition to that, add a little more. Okay, that's why it will not be further. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Let's move on to the next question. All right. So the next question that we have is, I adapted a new method to solve the problem. Now, what to do to get good scores in English? And the answer that has come is study. Probably you should also be watching more of our videos where a lot of explanation has been done, and there are many videos for you to probably go through. So if you keep yourself updated with whatever is being done in the class, I think you will be set. Okay. All right, Sandeep, I will take up good questions. I think these are good questions. A lot of people do have problems in these questions. Okay. Let's see if you can solve all the questions, Sandeep. Like you said, these are not good questions. Okay. So getting back to the question. I adapted a new method to solve the problem. Now, what is the meaning of adapted? Adapted means make suitable. I am also reading the live chat that is going on from the... I'm reading both the chats, okay? Please do not think that I'm only reading YouTube chats. I'm available for both the set of crowds, okay? So what is the meaning of adapted? Make suitable for new use or purpose. So basically we can say modify, okay? So I'm not modifying a new method to solve the problem. I will probably adopt a new method, okay? I will not adapt to a new method. I will adopt a new method to solve the problem. So what should be the right answer? I have been adopted? No, of course not. It is not the right tense. I was adapted? No. The answer will be I adopted, okay? There's only one option, which is option number 2 is the right answer. Yes, modify is the meaning of adaptation. All right. Things are clear? Yes, option number 2 is the right answer, not option number 3. Okay, then 2, not even 4. All right. I see a lot of you being confused. Why is that? I think it is very clear from the description that we just did. All right, let's move on to the next question, shall we? I did correct, okay. We will be moving on now. Okay. Now we have a different set of question where we will be doing synonyms now, where you will be given a word and you are given 4 options. Now these can be a little tricky because most of the synonyms, the words that you are given in the synonyms section, they are all synonyms, but you have to find the weak link, okay? So some of the synonyms will be close synonyms, some of them will be very fast synonyms, okay? So you have to be very, very careful, and that's why it is very important to know the meaning of all the words, okay? And know the difference between the meaning of all these words, okay? So synonyms, remember something about synonyms, they are not same in meaning, they are similar in meaning to the word, okay? So if the question says you have to express the word which means the same, that means they are asking for the meaning. If they are asking for synonym, that means they are asking for words that are similar to the word, okay? So let's look at the question. In the following question, out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one which best expresses the meaning of the given word. Okay. Someone just asked what is the difference between adapt and adopt. I'm just going back a little. We discussed the word adopt. Adopt is when you take up something new is adopting, okay? And adapting is modifying something, okay? So I adapted to the new environment quickly, that is adapting. Or I modified, that means I modified myself according to the new environment. On the other hand, adopt, I have adopted a new method to probably solve this question, okay? So this is the difference between adapt and adopt, okay? Adopt a child, you can also adopt a new method, yes. All right, now moving on to the next question. Now the word that we have is an adjective and the word is vigilant. What is the meaning of vigilant? Someone who's vigilant keeps an careful eye on something, a careful watch, keeping a careful watch is the meaning of vigilant. And why do we keep a careful watch? For possible dangers. Possible danger or difficulties. Okay. Now let's look at the other words. What? Before we look at other words, let's see an example sentence on it. Okay. An example sentence on vigilant could be, the vigilant neighbors spotted the burglar in the middle of the night. Okay, so they were very vigilant, and yes, the meaning is keep an eye on him, someone. Okay, keeping a careful watch. So the vigilant neighbors caught the burglar, or the vigilant neighbors made sure that nobody gets in and out of the house that was full of treasures. Okay, so something like that. I hope all of you are getting the meaning. Yes, very nice. Vigi is to see, and lant is carefully. I am so happy to see that. Okay, and that was a yes. Okay, now let's look at the other word. Next, the first option is also an adjective, vigorous. What is the meaning of vigorous? It means, it has two meanings. One is strong. Okay, strong and healthy and full of energy is vigorous. And the other is characterized by or involving physical strength, effort or energy. Okay, so the synonyms of the first meaning, strong, can be robust, strong, healthy. All these are synonyms of the first meaning of vigorous. The second meaning, characterized by or involving physical strength, effort or energy. So a vigorous training exercise, or a vigorous aerobics classes. These are the meaning of the word vigorous. Okay, now let's look at the next word, watchful. So the meaning of the word watchful is alert, observant, is the meaning of the word watchful. Okay, so clearly vigilant and watchful are the right match. You are under CCTV vigilance. Yes, right. Very nice, Yash. All right. Next, awake. Okay, rigorous is strenuous, something that causes a lot of strain. A difference between rigorous and vigorous is something that causes a lot of strain, and vigorous is excessive. Okay, I hope the difference is clear. Okay, the third option that we have is awake, and the fourth option is conscious. I don't think I have to tell you what is the meaning of awake. Awake is someone who simply wakes up. Okay, being awake is waking up. Okay, and what is the meaning of conscious? Now conscious is something that we need to see. Okay, Awake also can be used in two different ways. It can be used as a verb as well as an adjective. Can you tell me how do we, can you give me an example of both? It would be great if you can give example of both, awake as a verb and awake as an adjective. All right, so let the examples flow in. Okay. So she awoke late and the noise might keep him awake. Alright, so this is how we use it as a verb as well as a noun. Alright, conscious, what is the meaning of conscious? Conscious means aware of and responding to one's surrounding. Okay, so someone who's conscious is someone who is aware of their someone who's conscious is someone who is aware of his or her surrounding. All right, so for example, I can say, although she fainted, she was soon able to come to consciousness. Okay, gain consciousness or come to consciousness. All right, I saw your awake dog. Wow, Ankit. Very nice sentence. The baby was already awake when I entered the house. Yes, right. Okay, so I don't think we need to discuss these words furthermore. So the right answer is option number 2, watchful. Let's go to the next word, cherish. What is the meaning of cherish? Cherish is a verb which means, again, cherish has two meanings. One is to protect and care, protect and care for probably someone lovingly. All right, and the other meaning is hold dear. Okay, so the example of the first meaning, to protect and care for someone lovingly, can be he needed a child to cherish. Okay, that is the statement for first meaning, and the second meaning, like I said, is hold dear. So I cherish the picture that we clicked on our freshers day. Okay, so that means I hold it very dear to me. Okay, I value it a lot. Okay, let's look at the meanings. Okay, now what is the meaning of value? Value is, okay, the synonyms of this could be treasure, dear, etc. Alright, value is a noun and the meaning is okay, the regard that something is held to deserve the importance or worth or usefulness of something. Okay, okay, it can be, the synonyms can be merit, worth, usefulness. Okay. Next word, appreciate, verb. Okay, what is the meaning of appreciate? It means recognize the full worth of something. Or someone. Okay. So synonyms of appreciate could be value, respect, prize, and cherish. Okay, so in synonyms itself we have cherish. Okay, what is the meaning of admire? Admire is a verb. It means regard with respect. Okay, it means regard someone with respect or warm approval. I know the screen is becoming a little clustered, but bear with me because words have to be clarified. Last word is flatter. Flatter is lavish praising. Okay, so to praise someone lavishly. And why do, probably, and compliment as well. Okay, compliment. Okay, compliment how? Compliment insincerely and with the aim of further getting something out of that person. So flatter is not usually very positive sort of a word. Okay, because you flatter your teacher to probably get good marks or something like that. Okay, so flattery is sort of negative. Okay, so we have value, we have appreciate, we have admire, and we have flatter. So the right option, I think, and you guys also know, synonym of which is cherish itself, is appreciate. Okay, so the answer of this will be appreciate. Okay, value can also be a synonym, but it is a far off synonym, not a very close one. Okay. Okay, let's go on to the next word. Cherish and admire are synonyms. Yes, cherish and admire, cherish and value, cherish and appreciate, all these are synonyms. Okay, only synonym that is not, only word that is not a synonym is flatter. Alright, let's go to the next word. Next set of question. Congregation, very important word. Okay, congregation is a verb and the meaning of the word is, it's a gathering. Okay, gather into a crowd or a mass. Okay, so we have concentration, we have meeting, we have discussion, we have judgment. Again, we have two words which are very similar to each other. Okay, so concentration is a noun and the meaning of the word concentration is the action or power of focusing. What? All one's attention towards something. Okay, this is one of the meaning of concentration. Synonyms can be attentiveness, application. Okay, now this is one of the meaning of concentration. The other meaning is a close gathering. But that is the secondary meaning. Okay, now what is meeting? I am sure all of you know what is a meeting. It is what is the meaning of meeting? It is an assembly of people usually gathering for discussing a certain kind of situation or discussing a certain issue at hand. All right, so again, meeting is also a gathering. Okay, It is an assembly of people. And usually it is for a particular purpose, for a formal discussion, okay, is a meeting. Now what is a discussion? Discussion is a noun, meeting is also a noun. Discussion is a noun, and discussion is the action or process of taking about something in order to reach a decision, okay. So discussion is definitely not the right option. And what is the meaning of judgment? Judgment is also a noun, and the meaning of judgment is the ability to make considerable decision or come to sensible conclusion, okay. So we have only two words which are very much alike and mean the same, that is concentration and meeting. So the right answer will be meeting and not concentration, because concentration is a weak synonym, all right. So the answer will be yes, option number 2, meeting. Okay. All right, let's look at the next word. This is the next word. Okay, some of you are still having doubts about the word that we discussed, cherish. How is it appreciate and not admire, and both means the same, okay. We will get back to it because we have moved further away from it, so we'll get back to it after we finish this, okay. All right, let's look at the next word, repudiate. What is the meaning of, again, this is one of the words that we have discussed earlier, and I hope you guys remember. Those who have attended the previous sessions, you might know that we have discussed these words, few of the words that have come. So words are recurring, okay, so they are the same words, so you need not have a huge set of vocabulary for these exams. They are limited, okay. So if you start, that's why I'm doing each word to we are doing word by word, so that the meaning of the word is clear and you also know the synonyms, so that when it comes to solving questions which are of the same meaning, you know the meaning, okay. All right, let's go to the next word, repudiate. What is the meaning of repudiate? It is a verb, and the meaning of repudiate is to refuse to accept. To refuse to accept something, okay. Synonyms, very important words that I'm giving synonyms for. The synonym for this can be reject, renounce. Very, very important word, renounce, okay. Abandon. And mind you guys, in the following questions you have to choose the opposite, not the word similar to it. You have to choose the opposite, okay. Yes, and another important word is abjure. Very, very important word, okay. So renounce and abjure are important synonyms of repudiate, okay. And as it suggests from the meaning itself, disown is one of the synonyms of the word, okay. Disown is also to refuse to acknowledge or to maintain, okay. Okay. Decline is, again, let's look at the, okay. Decline is also a verb, and the meaning of decline is to, there are many meanings of decline, okay. So to become smaller or fewer or less is one of the meaning, okay. To become smaller or fewer. The other meaning is politely refuse. Okay, and again, refuse, refuse. So this is also a synonym. So The example sentence on decline could be on the second meaning of decline, as in to refuse politely, is can be she declined the wedding invitation. Okay, so in this case we are saying that she politely refused the wedding invitation. All right. Okay, let's look at the next word. The next word is beget. Okay, beget is also a verb, and the meaning is to bring into existence. Okay, beget has two meanings. Now, important word, that's why we will discuss this in detail. One is when a man brings a child into being. Okay, so to give birth to a child, not a man having a role to play in giving birth to a child. Okay, to bringing a child into existence. That is one meaning, of course, by the process of reproduction. And the sentence could be they hoped that the king might beget an heir with his new queen. Okay, or from his new queen. Okay, so that is one of the meaning of the word beget. Let's look at the next meaning of the word. It means cause or bring about. Okay, cause or bring about, and the very so an example, very beautiful example of cause or bring about for beget can be killing begets killing. Okay, so the more you kill, it causes more killing. Okay, so very nice example of the word beget. Okay, so cause or bring about, and synonyms can be of this word cause: create, produce. Okay, generate, all these are synonyms. Okay, now let's look at the word acknowledge. What is the meaning of the word acknowledge? Acknowledge is also a verb, and the meaning of acknowledge is to accept. We have been seeing the words like disown, refusing, repudiate, refuse, decline, refuse, and this is probably the opposite of it. Refuse or accept or admit the existence of something, or truth of something. Okay, so synonyms can be admit, accept, grant, allow, etc. Okay, so for example, with acknowledge I can say he acknowledged the existence of a secret society, Illuminati. Okay, so that is the example of acknowledge. Now we can clearly see that these two are repudiate and acknowledge are antonyms of. I missed the opposite point. Okay, repudiate and acknowledge are antonyms. Okay, all right, let's go to the next one. Again, we have to find the word that is opposite to this word, and the word is salubrious. And salubrious is an adjective, and the meaning of the word salubrious is health. I'll write it again. Something that is health giving, okay, or something that is healthy. Okay, synonyms can be healthy, beneficial, all these are synonyms. Okay. Now let's look at the words perfect. Again, a lot of people think they know the meaning of the word perfect because we keep hearing it time and again. But what exactly does perfect means? Perfect means something that meets all the requirements of something something that meets all the requirements is perfect. Okay, so probably we have a set of requirements, and when something meets all the requirements of such, then it becomes perfect. Okay. Another meaning of perfect, another meaning, or we can say it in another way, something that is as good as it is possible. Okay, as good as possible. Okay, that is another meaning of perfect. And the synonyms of perfect could be faultless, exemplary, ideal, model, best. All these are synonyms of perfect. Okay, let's look at the next word, anonymous. Anonymous is an adjective, and the meaning of the word anonymous is not identified, or something that is discreet. Not identified by what? By name. Okay, or of unknown name. Okay, so the example sentence on anonymous can be the donor wants to remain anonymous. Okay, so the person who has the donor of the heart wants to remain anonymous. Okay, yes, unknown. Okay, next word, clean. Clean means is an adjective, and I don't think I need to tell you the meaning of clean, but anything that is clean is something that is free of dirt and dust, and something that is immaculate. Okay, is clean. Okay, let's look at the next word, unwholesome. Unwholesome, the meaning of unwholesome is, first of all, it is also an adjective, and the meaning is not characterized by or conducive to health. Or moral well-being. So there we have, unwholesome is something that is not healthy, something that is characterized by being conducive, or something that is not healthy for, it can be not healthy in the moral well-being as well. Okay, so something that is not healthy for the body or for the moral well-being. Okay, so clearly we have the right opposite of salubrious, that is unwholesome. All right, I think this is instantly say the word is either adjective or adverb or etc. etc. Okay, there are few suffixes that are used by which we can clearly say that these words are adjectives, or these words are noun, or these words are verb. When you see a word being used in the ed form or ing form, suffixes being added as ing, ed, all these are verbs. Okay, so you understand that it can be used as an action. If you see the suffixes being added as ous, I'm so sorry, is adjective. Okay, because it talks about quality of something. Okay, as soon as you see the word ending with ly, it is usually an adverb because it talks about manner. Okay, so that is one of the trick of how do you understand that it is which part of speech. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so again we have last one of word opposite. Okay, so you have to choose the opposite. Now again, lucid is something what is the meaning of lucid? Lucid is an adjective, and the meaning of lucid is expressed clearly, easy to understand. Okay, something that is lucid is something that is very clear, and synonyms could be of lucid could be comprehensible, intelligible, understand. Okay, these are the synonyms. Lacking resources, is lucid lacking resources? Absolutely not. So it should be something that is not clear, something that is not evident, something that lacks clarity. Okay, so we have option number 3, lacks clarity. What is this meaning of lacking vitality? Lacking vitality means state of being. State of being what? State of being strong. Okay, and active. State of being strong and active. Okay, so it is definitely not option number 2 or 4. The answer is option number 3. Yes. So lucid means lacking clarity. Alright, anyone who can make sentence on lucid? We usually have people say things like we get lucid dream during the period of in the morning, somewhere around 3 to 5, I think, if I'm not wrong. So lucid dreaming is again dreams that are very clear. Okay, something that is you can clearly remember, because we dream a lot and we do not tend to remember a lot of them. And lucid dreaming is when you dream and you remember your dreams. So it is so clear that you remember everything. That is lucid dreaming. Okay, there's a practice also of lucid dreaming. Of course, something that is an interesting thing to know about. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next question. Yes, vivid would be another synonym of lucid. Okay, let's go on to the next question. In the different type of question, in the questions given below, out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one which can be substituted for the given words, sentences. A photograph taken by the police of someone who has been arrested. So you have to, this is one word substitution. So photograph taken by the police of someone who has been arrested. Okay, so I'm sure you might not have experienced this, but people who get caught, and you must have seen it in the movies, when they get caught, they have their names and other details written right in front of them, and they have to pose in front of the camera. Once they get arrested, they have to pose in front of the camera with their front view and their side views. Okay, so that is called a mug shot. Okay, yes, it is an informal way of saying it, but yes, it is called a mug shot. Okay, so the answer of a photograph taken by the police of someone who has been arrested will be a mug shot. Okay, it is not a pic, it is not a profile, it is not a screenshot. Okay, let's go on to the next question. There's nothing much to discuss over here. Okay, the next question is action or statement that tricks people into believing something that is not true. Okay, Now this one is very, very, very tricky, okay? Because all these words almost mean the same thing. Let's see who can tell me the answer for this. Okay, what is the trick? Remember the question very well. An action or a statement that tricks people into believing something that is not true. Okay, so false belief, okay, gives people false belief. Okay, so trick is a noun and is a cunning. You will see this word cunning very often in all these words. What is the meaning of cunning? Cunning means sly. We usually say as cunning as a fox or as sly as a fox, which means someone who is very shrewd. Okay, so a cunning act or scheme intended to deceive. Or outwit someone. Okay, so it is something to do with deceiving or outwitting someone, not making people believe something that is not true. Okay, so it is not trick. Okay, now chicanery. What is the meaning of chicanery? It is chicanery is a noun, and chicanery, the use of deception. Again, all of them use deception. Okay, so chicanery is use of deception or subterfuge or subterfuge to achieve one's purpose by making them believe not belief, by making them believe something that is not true, that is untrue. Okay, so here we have then the next word is stratagem. Okay, stratagem is also a noun, and the meaning of the word stratagem is a plan or a scheme. Again, all these are plans and schemes, especially one used to outwit someone. Again, these are supposed to do with outwitting people. Okay, outwit an opponent. Okay, that is the meaning of stratagem. Artifice. Artifice is also a noun, and the meaning of artifice is clever, or cunning. Like I said, it keeps popping up. Cunning device, or expedience. Okay, and specially used to trick someone or to deceive someone. Okay, now a trickery, deceit, the synonyms of most of them are deceit, trickery, deception, dishonesty. Okay, and the only option that we have that is used for making someone believe that is not true or something that is not true is chicanery, and thus the right answer will be chicanery. Okay. Okay, so all of these are schemes and plans and plots to deceive someone, and deceive someone how that differs from each option. Okay, trick is just to outwit someone, so is stratagem to outwit someone. Okay, to show that they are superior to others, to make them believe that they are smarter than the others. Okay, and artifice is again, it's a plot or a scheme to, it's a cunning scheme to make someone deceive someone. Okay, like I said, why not option 4? If you ask, I just gave you why is it option number 2 and not 4, because it is to make someone believe that something is true when it is not true. Okay, so for example, chicanery would be if I make you believe that it is not evening and it is morning. Okay, that is chicanery. Okay, let's move on. Okay, very interesting ones, my favorites, idioms. Okay, so pie in the sky, you have to, in the following questions 4 alternatives are given. For the meaning of the given idioms and phrases, choose the alternative which best expresses the meaning of the idiom phrase and mark the correct alternative. Okay, so pie in the sky. Okay, what is the meaning of pie in the sky? Okay, it means it is used to describe or refer to something that is pleasant. Oh yes, it is pleasant, because we are talking about pie. Okay, pleasant to contemplate. What is the meaning of contemplate? To think about. Contemplate. But impossible to attain. Alright, so what did I say? The meaning of pie in the sky is something that is very pleasant and something that seems very rosy, but something that is not into existence. Okay, something that is just a plan or something that is there in your probably dreams. Okay, so a pie in the sky could be an example sentence on a pie in the sky could be their business plan is a pie in the sky. Okay, because it is all true, like they are saying, but it is something that is not at all into existence. Okay, something that has not come into existence, and it is just some dream or something that is impossible to attain. Okay, please tell in short. What do I tell you in short? Okay, let's look at the options. I think it is very clear from this that impossible gain is not an impossible gain. We cannot gain it is the point. Pleasant to imagine but impossible to attain is the right option. So option number 3 is the right answer. Okay. Now we have looked at other idioms as well in the previous classes, so please make sure that you make a note of all these idioms. These are very easy and simple idioms. We have discussed many, and we have also discussed one of the stories. Probably next few classes we will be seeing the stories behind many idioms. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Okay, anyways, let's go on to the next idiom. Okay. Go Dutch. What is the meaning of go Dutch? Go Dutch is to share the cost of something especially a meal equally. Okay, so a very interesting thing about Go Dutch is that when the English, the Britishers used to, when they were at war with the Netherlands, so they used to do this a lot. They used to spread stereotypes about Dutch people and about the Dutch, and they used to make a lot of these phrases. Okay, they came up with, when Anglo Dutch war was going on, they came up with these phrases like Dutch wife, go Dutch, and things like that. Okay, so what is the meaning of going Dutch, and which was a stereotype again, which means they wanted to portray a negative stereotype which showed that the Dutch are very broke and they usually do not have money to spend lavishly and things like that. Okay, so from there the phrase came, go Dutch. Okay, so the answer for Dutch uncle or Dutch wife or go Dutch is a stereotype, and the meaning is to share the cost of something, especially a meal, equally. Okay, so is it to be drunk? No. Is it to each person paying for oneself? Yes. Merrymaking? No. To go on a date? Absolutely not. Okay, so for example, I did not have money to pay for the meal, but thankfully my friends went Dutch as I was supposed to throw the party, and they went Dutch. Okay, so that means he was supposed to give a treat to people, and thankfully his friends went Dutch on the meal so that everyone shared their portion of the meal, or they took the burden of paying their own share of the meal. Okay, merrymaking means celebrating, okay, or feasting or having a joyful time is merrymaking. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Shubham Singh, I cannot answer that. That has already been answered 1,000 of times. Okay, so let's go on. Let's move on. Okay, now what do we have? We have in each of the questions below, in each of the questions below, 4 sentences are given which are denoted by A, B, C and D. So what are you supposed to do? Let's look at the question. Okay, so in each of the question below, 4 sentences are given which are denoted by A, B, C, D. By using all the 4 sentences, you have to frame a meaningful paragraph. These are parajumbles. The correct order of the sentence is your answer. Choose from the 5 alternative. That's why I have asked. Okay. Choose the 5 alternatives, the one having the correct order of the sentence, and mark it as your answer on the answer sheet. Okay. So Here we have option number A, B, C and D. You have to frame it into a meaningful statement. Okay, let's look at the question. Option number A. Option A, we have however different. So definitely this cannot be the starting statement. However is a contradictory keyword. Word for contradiction. Okay, so it cannot be the starting statement. So let's search for the starting statement. Again, this tendency, we are talking about a tendency, so this cannot be the starting statement again. Okay, various situation and political changes have taken place over the past three and half centuries. Okay, could be the starting statement. Yes. South Africa is a racially divided society since the first European settlers arrived in 1652. Okay, so the situation starts from here. It is about chronological, it is about a sequence, it is about a timeline. Okay, so we are starting from 1652. So what, this has to be the first option. So option number, so we'll clearly strike out the ones that have any other options. Here itself you can search, see that only option with which is starting with the letter D is option number 2. So without even looking at the rest of the option, you can clearly point out that 2 is the right answer. But just let's look at the rest of the sentence statements. So D has to be the first option. Various situation, yes, B is the next various situation. After talking about South Africa, we are talking about why is it racially divided. Various situation and political changes have taken place over the past 3.5 centuries. Okay, and what are these political changes that we are talking about? A, okay, even after these various situation, political changes have taken place, different rules and governments dealt with the different groups in a compartmentalized manner. Okay, what is the meaning of compartmentalized? It means divide something discretely in sections or categories. Okay, so yes, option A. And finally, this tendency, we are talking about the compartmentalization. Okay, so this tendency resulted in deeply embedded fragmented South African society, which became even more prominent in the year 1948 until the commencement of the new constitution on May 10th, 1994. Okay, few words that I will just quickly run through. What is the meaning of embedded? Embedded means something that is fixed firmly. Okay. What is the meaning of fragment? Fragment means something that is divided into small chunks. Okay, fragmented. What is the meaning of commencement? Commencement means beginning of something. Okay, I hope this is clear. All right, let's go on to the next question. Someone keeps asking, a few of you keep asking me, raise the level of the questions. Sweetheart, this is the level of question that are asked in SSC CGL. Okay, we are not doing something that is very easy or something that is cakewalk for me. Cakewalk. These are the type of questions that come. Okay, and trust me, you will be confused when you see these questions on papers and without me someone to explain it to you. Okay, so okay, let's move on with this. All right, I will try to pace it up. Okay, yes, let's move on to the next question. The next question is same parajumbles. Finally, the bureaucratic organization took over from the pioneering enterprise. The 19th century, okay, finally cannot be the first option. The 19th century was the age of entrepreneur, the self-made man. Okay, again we are discussing timeline. Okay, so we are going in from past, present to future. Okay, timeline, chronological timeline. Okay, so 19th century. So first we talk about the 19th century. So what was happening in the 19th century? It was the age of entrepreneurs, the self-made man. Alright, thoughtful business administration took over from action-centered business entrepreneurs. In the 20th century, the rational executive took command. Okay, so again, we are doing, so what is the first option? It has to start from B. Okay, so either it will be this one or this one. So will the D option be the next option or C? Okay, so let's look at D. In the 20th century, the rational executive took command. Okay, so first we talk about thoughtful business administration took over. Okay, so first we talk about the 19th century, then we are talking about the 20th century. So the right answer will be, it has to be option number 3. First we spoke about 19th, then 20th, and finally in the 21st century, bureaucratic organization took over from the pioneering enterprise. Okay, yes, the correct answer should be BDCA and not BCDA. Okay, okay, first we are introducing which type of people took over. First we spoke about entrepreneurs, then we spoke about executives, rational executives, and then we spoke about the change over here, the change between the 19th and the 20th century. Okay, so this change has been described in the third part. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, very interesting passage, something that we should all go through, and it is not an easy passage. Okay, so let's read through the passage and try to see how many words are here that needs. We'll go through the passage quickly and we will see the words that are a little difficult. Okay, so let's read through the passage once. Okay, the same high mental faculties, okay, let's underline faculties also for now, which first led man to believe in unseen spiritual agencies and then in fetishism, would infallibly lead him, as long as his reasoning power remained poorly developed, to the various strange superstitions and customs. Many of them are terrible to think of, such as the sacrifice of human beings to a blood-loving god, the trial of innocent persons by the ordeal of poison or fire, witchcraft, devil worship, necromancy. Yet it is well occasionally to reflect on these superstition, these conjuration of diabolical occult powers, for they show up what an infinite debt of gratitude we owe for the improvement of our reasons to science and to the accumulated knowledge science has granted us. Okay, so these are the words that I think would be a little tough, and this whole passage is on what? It is on superstition and beliefs that have been carried on. Okay, so find out the word from the passage that means extremely evil. Okay, now let's do it this way. We will find out, we'll know the meaning of the word as it comes. Okay, so what is the meaning of occult? Okay, let's do it here. It means mystical, supernatural, or magical power. So definitely not occult. Something that is extremely evil. Fetishism is, what is the meaning of fetishism? It means worship of an inanimated, something that is not human-like object for its supposed magical powers. Or because it is considered to inhabit considered to be inhabited by spirits. Okay, so fetishism is worship of something that is an object. Okay, to worship an object. Why do they worship these objects? Because there's a belief that these objects contain superhuman, probably mystical powers or something that is supernatural powers. Okay, and they are inhabited by spirits. Okay, so they have spirit in them, probably dolls and things like people worship a lot of things, weird things, so you can think of anything. Okay, so that is fetishism. Let's go to infallibly. Infallibly, what is the meaning of infallibly? It means incapable of making mistakes. Infallible is infallibly becomes adverb, although infallible is adjective. Okay, so someone who is incapable of making mistakes is infallible. Okay, and what is diabolical? Diabolical is something that is extremely evil, demonic, demon-like. All these are Annabelle. Yes, Annabelle is one of the example of, but Annabelle is, nobody worshipped Annabelle. Okay, anyways, let's get back. Okay, diabolical means something that is extremely evil, or something that is satanic, something that is very devil-like. Okay, so that is diabolical. Okay, yes, here Annabelle is a good example. Okay, or Conjuring is a diabolical movie where the witch was diabolical. Okay, so the right word for extremely evil will be diabolical. Okay, let's see the next one. The next is, it can be inferred from the passage that the author considers the kind of underdeveloped reasoning described in the passage to be a cause of. Okay, why is the author thinking that this kind of, what is the reason he's talking about? Why does these things occur? What are these cause of these things, okay, occurring? Considers the kind of underdeveloped reasoning. Why do they have underdeveloped reasoning like these? Like human beings loving, probably presenting sacrifices to blood-loving god, witchcraft and devil worship, necromancy. All these are extremely barbaric. And what is the cause of this? Is the cause of it apathy? It is apathy, lack of interest. Is it lack of interest? No, they are extremely interested in these things, and enthusiasm, so it will not be apathy. Spontaneity is the condition of being spontaneous. Okay, So it is not that they are very spontaneous. This is a noun, by the way. This is also a noun. Is it barbarity? Is the reason that they are extremely cruel? Or is it extremely cruel or uncivilized? Yes, it is the cause. And what is the meaning of skepticism? Skepticism means, is also a noun that means doubt as to the truth. Okay, someone doubting that this can be true is skepticism. Okay. His claims about seeing a ghost in the building was treated with skepticism. Okay, is an example of the word skepticism. Okay, so the right answer will be barbarity, not skepticism, not apathy, not spontaneity. It will be barbarity. All right. Yes, barbarous. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Okay, human belief in superstitions can effectively be countered only by, okay, so human belief in superstition, so the belief that there in the superstition can be effectively countered, as in what will be the opposition to this? How can we counter these beliefs in superstition? Is it can we counter it with high mental faculties? No. The same high mental faculties which led man to believe in unseen spiritual agencies. Okay, so it cannot be the same high. So it cannot be that we can deal with this with same high mental faculties. Is it because underdeveloped reasoning powers? Should we do that? No. Should we have sympathy for the innocents? No. This is also, so none of these is the right option. Okay. It clearly says that the same high mental faculties which led man to believe in unseen spiritual agencies and then in fetishism. Okay, so we are talking about high mental faculties that man started with believing in spiritual agencies. It is the same mental faculties that has gone wrong into men believing into blood loving gods and men believing into necromancy. So it is not the mental faculties that will change or be the counter for these superstition. Okay. Alright, let's look at the next one. If things are clear till here, then 4. Yes, it will be 4. Okay, 1 minute. Fetishism and first time insertions. Okay. So some of you have answered. No, it was okay. I hope it is all the options. Definitely not. None of these is the right answer. Science has been doing it so far. Okay. Yes, next. Let's look at the next one. According to the passage, we are in debt to science for. What are we indebted to science for? Are we indebted to science? What do we owe science for? What is the meaning of indebted? As in, okay, As in, why do we need to thank science for? Okay, so this is the question. Why do we need to thank science for? So let's look at the options. Do we need to thank science for the original intellectual capacity? No, definitely not. Do we need to thank science for believe in fetishism? Science does not teach you to believe in fetishism. Okay, on the contrary, it believes you to believe otherwise. Okay, it urges you to believe otherwise. Development of law to protect the innocent. We are not talking about law. Science does not talk about protection of the innocent. No. Liberation from irrational. Okay, what is the meaning of liberation? It means the action of setting someone free. And what are we setting someone free from? Irrational. Okay, so irrational. Rational is logic, facts, and talking about things that are possible, plausible. Okay, so an irrational is irrationality has to deal with something that is not at all possible and something that is all imaginary. Okay, and has nothing to do with logic. So the right answer will be option number 4. Liberation is azadi. Yes, it is azadi from irrationalism. Okay, so science teaches us that. Okay, it opens our mind to new ideas, new facts, and thinking out of the box, but also helps us to not think in things irrationally. All right, so the right answer will be option number 4. Okay. Okay, last one. According to the passage, man's belief in unseen spiritual powers can largely be attributed to. Okay, what do you think is man's belief in these spiritual powers largely attributed to, or according to the passage, man's belief in unseen spiritual powers. What makes, is it monotheism that teaches man to believe in unseen spiritual powers? By the way, okay, let's talk about monotheism and polytheism. Okay, what is the meaning of mono and theism? Okay, so we know people who are, what are the people called who are believer of God? Okay, someone who believes in God, they are called theist. Okay, so theism is the belief. Okay, so monotheism, mono is one. Okay, so monotheism is people who believe in one God, like the Christians believe in God, one God, the Muslims believe in one God. Polytheism, on the other hand, is to deal with, poly means many, okay, and theism is again God. Okay, believe in God. So people who believe in many God, like the Greeks and the Hindus, they believe in many gods. Okay, so is it polytheism? Okay. Okay, is it fetishism? Fetishism, again, like I said, believing in something that is supernatural and an object inhabited with spirits. Okay, so is it because of that the man believes in unseen spiritual powers? I do not think any of these options are right. According to the passage, man's belief in unseen spiritual powers is not attributed to any of these. It is not because of monotheism. It is not because of polytheism. It is not because of fetishism. It is none of these. Okay, it is because of our ignorance and yes, it is because of uncivilization or being barbaric. It is not because of fetishism, it is not because of polytheism, and it is not because of monotheism. All right. Atheism, yes, on the other hand, is a negative prefix, which means someone who does not believe in the existence of God. So what are the people called who are there are still people who think that there is a supernatural power, but they do not know what is it. Okay, they just believe in something. I think a lot of people do that. They just think that it's not necessary that my God is the real God. It is just something supernatural that is out there, and just believes in something being watchful of us and something protecting us and things like that. What are people like that called? People who do not believe in God, existence of God, are called atheists. Okay, people who believe in God are called theists. But what are people called who just think there is something out there supernatural which is protecting us, or is the creator of human beings, and they are not very sure what it is. Okay, they are called agnostics. Okay, agnostics. Okay, agnostics. So yes, I think that brings us to the end of this session. I hope you guys brings us to the end of this live session. We will also be doing banking. We will also be solving banking paper, but that is only for the premium TalentSprint students. Okay, so those who have opted for the TalentSprint premium package, it's only for them. For the rest of you, the live session ends over here. I hope you guys understood and things were clear. As always, I will, if there is any doubt, yes, Milan, you're right. Okay, it is agnostic. If you have any doubts, please, nice seeing you. It was nice seeing you guys give me such good feedback as well. Thank you so much, guys. Hope to see you guys soon. All right, see you guys. Continue, please. Yes, we will be coming back for the TalentSprint session after. We will be, can you update? Okay, we will be coming back in a short while for you guys. Okay. When will be our next live session? We'll see about that. Okay. All right. For any other doubts, please let me know if you have any other doubts, or we will be finishing the session now. Yes, there is a next session for, what are those? For a banking clerical paper mock test that we had. I will try coming next time. Okay, let's see. Yash, I'm not sure. Okay, what are those who I say I am God? I did not understand your question. You can post your questions on the dashboard. Alright, so until next time, guys, see you. Good night, all of you. Bye bye.